Hey, and welcome back to Prep Ahead Pioneer. So in today's video, what I want to show you guys is a little bit about some long storage food, and I'm going to be bagging up the rest of this long grain rice that I bought at Sam's into a 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to show you how I do that so we can keep it for 15, 20 years or even longer, especially if it's in a room that's temperature controlled. So the first couple things I want to talk to you about is getting some long-term food that is affordable. So obviously at a time like this when there's a lot of talks about war, you don't want to go out and start a garden, start to grow stuff. Lots of times you just need stuff now that you want on your shelf. And so this is a really good option here. Things like pinto beans and black beans loaded with protein. They're very affordable. We got multiple 12-pound bags of each. And you can actually just put these on your shelf if you want to, especially if you plan on using them over the next couple years or so. Or if you want, you can put them in Mylar bags in a 5-gallon bucket, seal them up, which is going to make them last a lot longer. So a few things you need to keep in mind, and what's going to keep your food for the longest period of time is number one, at a decent temperature. So it's not too hot, it's not too cold. Also, if air can get to it, which is why you need oxygen absorbers. And number three is whether light can get to the food or not. So if you have all those covered, then your food can last for a very, very long time. So I highly recommend picking up some beans. Easy to cook also. All you need is a little bit of water. If you're afraid that you're not going to have water, you could always get a 5-gallon bucket like I did here and make you a little attachment using one of these Sawyer water filters. I'll put a link to the one that I'm using below this video, as well as some of these other resources if you guys just want to go pick them up yourself. You never know if there may be cyber attacks where they attack the water systems and shut them off. And if they do, you're going to have a way to have water to survive. And so you need a filter. You need something like this that you can drink, something that can help you to cook with. And so you can do that. And then if you don't think your water is even clean enough after that, you can even put about 8 drops of bleach in your water into a gallon of water. And they recommend if you do this that you're going to use something between around 6 to 8%. And normally you can find bleach in a store anywhere, and you can see, you'll be able to read on the front of it where it tells you how strong it is. And this one here, you can see 7.5%, which is a little bit strong. So I may even put 7 drops per gallon in it. Shake it up, let it set for a while, and then you can pour it out and you can drink it. If it tastes too strong, you can let it set in the sun for about a half an hour, because the sun actually kills chlorine and it'll take that taste out of your water. And then you'll have water that's should be good to drink. What I'm going to do though in the rest of this video is I'm going to set these bags of beans aside, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to pack up my the rest of my rice here in a 5-gallon bag. That way if you guys decide you want to do some of this too, you'll know exactly how to do it. So a few things you're going to need. You're obviously going to need some 5-gallon buckets. These are a lot more expensive than what they used to be, but if you want to keep these for long term, it's something you should invest in. You're also going to need some oxygen absorbers, and I'd recommend that you pay attention to the type you get. I got 2 different kinds here. One I love, the other one I do not like. So you can see the differences in this package here. Every one of them is individually wrapped and sealed in an airtight package, which is great. So when I open this, I can throw it straight into my bucket on top of whatever I put in here, and it's going to help to absorb all the oxygen out of it, and that way it keeps everything fresh, keeps everything moist free, and hopefully if there's any type of eggs or bugs or anything in there, it's going to kill everything that's in there, because if there's no air, nothing can live. These other ones though, this whole pack came like this, and none of them are individually wrapped. And that's a problem, because when you open up your pack, air can get to all of them instantly, and it doesn't take long for them to just get hard, and then you can't even use them. So if you pick up any of these oxygen absorbers, make sure they're individually wrapped. What I prefer to use for these 5-gallon buckets are the 2000 cc's. So that's what you want to look for. And the other thing you're going to need are some Mylar bags. These are 5-gallon. Now with a lot of these Mylar bags, they are heat sealed, which means up here at the top, you got to use an iron or something like that to seal them shut. These bags that I found actually zip shut, zip airtight shut. You can see right here, this line that goes across through here. And so you can even open this and reseal it again. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these bags, I'm going to open it up and put it in here, and then we're going to start pouring our rice in. Okay, so you can see how this bag sticks way up out of this 5-gallon bucket, but that's going to go down once we start pouring the rice in. The bag will start expanding out into the bucket. And then this is not going to fill it all the way up because I don't have enough rice left to do that. But we'll fill it as much as we can, and then we'll go ahead and throw this oxygen absorber. I'm going to cut this open, take this one out, and then we're going to toss it in top of it, seal this bag, put the lid on it, and then we're going to write on it on a marker what it is, the date that we put it in here, and set it on the shelf, and that's all there is to it. So I went ahead and poured all the rice in here. You can see what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both sides of these bags. I'm going to pull it up and try to even it out some in this bucket. And now you can see how much better that fits in there. And obviously if we had more rice to fit in there, it would expand out and fill these other gaps we have on the sides of the bucket. Now since that's all we have, I'm going to go ahead and cut this open, this package. We're going to throw this oxygen absorber in here. And then we're going to shove down this Mylar bag to get all the air out of it that we possibly can, while at the same time zipping it up. And then we should have a good airtight seal once we put the lid on the bucket. And that's all there is to it. So I'm just going to put the lid on here. I'm going to write on it and set it on the shelf. But just remember, if you're planning on using things like rice or even beans within the next couple years, you really don't have to do this. Rice and beans, if they're kept in a place that's temperature controlled, and you don't have to worry about bugs or anything getting to them, then you can set them up on a shelf and they're going to be good for the next few years. But if you want to have something, set it aside, it's going to be more long-term, then this here is the way to go. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoy these types of videos where I walk through and show you how I do all of my prepping and getting ready, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then I'll see you on the next video.